After installing the Outlook Odoo add-in, you will be presented with a license screen where you will be required to enter your product key before being able to activate the add-in. Once you've entered your product key, the first screen you will see is this screen, which is the connections settings, and here you will need to enter your Odoo server, database, username and password. In this case I'm going to use a test server, so I will use the server name here. So this is the URL, which should begin with HTTP or HTTPS, and the database in this case is your database name and your username and password. The next screen you'll see if you click on settings is the ability to configure the synchronization for contacts and calendar. Here you can choose to prioritize either Odoo or Outlook. The default is to prioritize Odoo, so all contacts and calendar entries master versions will be in Odoo. Synchronization allows you to control whether contacts and calendar will synchronize automatically or manually, which is the default when you press the synchronize button. And here you can choose whether to synchronize contacts and calendar. And if I press save, you should now see login successful if you've entered the correct database details and username and password. The next screen you'll see is the email screen in Outlook, and you can see the Explorer view of emails. I have two example emails here so I can show how those can be attached to Odoo records. Starting with the first one, you can see in the ribbon bar at the top there is an Addins tab, and from here you can choose the button attach to Odoo. You can also see the synchronize button, which I will show you shortly. So an alternative to attach to Odoo an email is to right click on the email. You will also see attach to Odoo as an option here, which makes things more convenient if maybe you're not seeing the add-ins ribbon at the time, or if your ribbon might be minimized like this. So if I was to right click and choose attach to Odoo, I now see the main screen, and on this dialog box I can choose which model within Odoo I would like to attach to, and this depends on the Odoo system that you are using as to which models are installed, which modules you have, and in this case all of the ones that are available are listed. So if I was to choose partners, you would see all of the contacts and companies in the system. If I was to choose leads, for example, you can see all the leads available. If I was to hover over one of these leads, you can see there's a tooltip that appears which tells me if I double click it would load this record into my browser so I could view it within Odoo. If I double click, you can see it loads the record into Odoo so I can double check that it's the correct record I want to attach to. If I go back to Outlook, I can now choose attach, and it will now attach the record to the chatter within the Odoo record itself. And you can see also that the category has been added to signify this has been attached to Odoo. So you can look at emails and determine which ones have been attached using the add-in. Now if I go back to Odoo and refresh this lead, you can see here that the email has been attached, and it attaches as a note within the chatter. You can see the recipients and the subject listed, and the date and time of the email itself. I can try again with this one here, just to also show you that it's possible to attach multiple emails in bulk. I will highlight both of these emails, right click and press attach to Odoo, and it's now asking me, do I want to attach this record again, because I've already attached it previously. So I already have an email that has been attached because it uses the category to show me that's been attached before. Do I want to attach it again? In this case I'm going to say no, and now I can choose my lead and click on attach, and now you can see both are marked with the category. Now if I go back to my lead and refresh, now we can see there are two emails attached to the record. So that shows the basic functionality, and it's possible also to attach from other folders other than the inbox. However, one feature that's worth looking at is the ability to attach while sending a new email. So if I click new email, you can see this window appears, and this is the compose window. You can also see this special button, send and store in Odoo. If I click that button and then send an email, when I press send, it's going to ask me, do I want to now attach this to an existing Odoo record? And it gives me the ability, like I did previously, to choose the record and attach to it. Note that whenever this happens, the default search criteria is populated with the email address of either the sender or the recipient, depending whether it was an email you're sending or an email that you're receiving. That allows you to easily find records within your Odoo system by pressing the find button. In this case there are no records with this email address, but if it was somebody I worked with regularly, then pressing find would locate that record, and press reset will show all records again. So I can easily choose a relevant record and attach, and it will now send the email and immediately attach it to the Odoo record. As you can see here, it was sent to this address by this address. So the other functionality that's worth mentioning is the calendar and contact sync. So as mentioned, you need to ensure within connection settings that you have first enabled sync contacts and sync calendar, and if I press the add-ins button and the synchronize button, the first time this is run it may take a little while, but after it's complete you will see a pop-up, synchronization complete, and click OK. If I go to my calendar, you'll see a calendar has been created with the name of my Odoo database. So a special calendar is created in addition to your primary calendar in Outlook. If you wish for anything to be added to this calendar and synchronized to Odoo, you need to add it to this calendar manually. If I go to contacts, at the moment I don't see any contacts, and this is a behavior of Outlook. So the first time you do synchronize, sometimes with contacts or calendars, you may need to click on the three dots down in the bottom left corner and go to folders, and here you can see the contact and the calendar folders, and inside of each of them are unique folders dedicated to your Odoo database. So if you click on that folder, you will see the contacts and the calendar. Next time you go back to your contacts, you will see it populated with your synchronized Odoo contacts. Now it's worth mentioning that there are only two here because there is a rule within the add-in that dictates which contacts should synchronize. If I go to Odoo and view the contacts, if I group them by salesperson, you will see at the moment only two of them are assigned to a salesperson. In order to limit the number of contacts synchronized, there is a limitation that the salesperson must be set so that contacts will synchronize to Outlook. So that's simple. You can group by salesperson and drag and drop to the column, or you can load a contact. You can go to the Sales and Purchase tab, edit the contact and assign a salesperson. It doesn't matter who the salesperson is, it doesn't have to be yourself, it just needs to be set. And once you have set that, you can go back to your Outlook, press synchronize, and you will see the additional contact created there. So that demonstrates the basic functionality of synchronizing contacts and calendar and attaching emails from Outlook to Odoo.